All right, today's lesson is on the distributive property and combining like terms. So we're going to start here with example number 1. Okay, in this example, we've got this group right here. Everything in this group is getting multiplied by this 2 in the front. All right, so we're going to say 2 times x. We know that is 2x. We're going to say 2 times negative 3 is going to be negative 6. All right, the following group is x plus 5, and we know that that's going to be multiplied by the number in the front. Now, careful, the number in front of this one is not 3, it's negative 3. Okay, so negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times positive 5 is actually negative 15. All right, now this looks like the lesson we worked on yesterday, just combining like terms. I know my like terms are here at 2x and negative 3x. I add the 2 plus the negative 3, or 2 minus 3, and that gives me negative 1x. Okay. My other pair of like terms are just my constants. I've got negative 6 and negative 15. I add those together, negative 6 plus negative 15, and I get negative 21. All right, just a quick reminder that if this were a multiple choice test, my answer would just look like this, negative x minus 21. I wouldn't have the 1 in front of the x. Okay, problem 2. Problem 2 has all the same concepts. It's just slightly longer. It shouldn't have anything more difficult. All right, we're going to look here at the first part of this. All right, we're going to start with negative 3. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. And then we multiply negative 3 times negative 1. Well, negative times a negative gives us a positive 3. All right, we're now looking at this middle group here. It's getting multiplied by positive 2. So 2 times 3x is positive 6x. And 2 times negative 4, we know that is negative 8. All right, last but not least, we've got this group here, and it's multiplied just what looks like a negative. I would strongly encourage y'all to write a 1 right here to kind of clarify your thought process there, right, to help your brain out a little bit. So we're going to multiply that group by negative 1. Negative 1 times negative x squared. All that's happening is we're changing the sign. So we're going to have a positive x squared now. And negative 1 times negative 7 will be a positive 7. All right, let's see. I've got only one x squared term, and I want that in the front. Now I'm going to look at my x terms. I've got a negative 6x and a positive 6x. Well, negative 6 plus positive 6 is just 0x. Okay, we're going to deal with that in a minute here. And then finally, I've got a bunch of constants. I've got a positive 3 and a negative 8 and a positive 7. If I add all of those numbers together, that leaves me with a positive 2. Okay, now this term here in the middle, this 0x, we don't actually need to write 0x. Okay, so we just end up with x squared plus 2. All right. Problem number 3, example number 3. In example number 3, we only have one set of parentheses. And if you remember PEMDAS, right, the first thing we take care of is the parentheses. So we're going to leave the 3x alone and the minus 2 alone. And then this group is getting multiplied by this 0.5 in the front. So I now have plus 0.5x. All right, and then we're going to multiply this last one. You can use a calculator if you need to. But we've got 0.5 times negative 2, which is just negative 1. Okay, now I'm looking for like terms again. I've got a 3x and a 0.5x. I'm going to add those up and have 3.5x. Okay, and then I've just got my constants, this negative 2 and this negative 1. When I add those up, I've got negative 3. And I'm done. Okay, the last problem on this worksheet has to do with the perimeter of a rectangle. All right, y'all know that whenever I get a problem that deals with perimeter or area or some kind of a figure, I always draw it. So here's my rectangle. It tells me that the length is 3x squared minus 4. And it tells me that the width is x squared minus 2x. All right, so I've got the length and I've got the width. Now please remember that the formula for perimeter of a rectangle, we double the width, right, so 2w, and we add that to double the length, so plus 2l. So now I'm just going to put in my expressions here. The width, they said, was x squared minus 2x, and double the length, which they said was 3x squared minus 4. And now I just distribute, combine like terms. So we've got 2x squared minus 4x. All right, now we move on to the next group. 2 times 3, so plus 6x squared, and 2 times negative 4 is minus 8. Okay, my like terms are here, 2x squared and 6x squared. I add those up and I get 8x squared. And then I don't have any other like terms. This doesn't have a like term, so we're going to keep negative 4x. And this doesn't have a like term, so we're going to leave negative 8. And that is my answer. Okay, just a quick little note. If we wanted to have done this a different way, we could have labeled all the sides, right? Because it's a rectangle, they have equal sides. And you could have just physically written out all of the side lengths and added them up. Right, so I'm just listing all of these different sides. Minus 2x. Okay, it should have me come up with the same answer, right? I've got 3x squared and x squared and 3x squared and x squared. Don't forget that there are 1's in front of these. Okay, so I've got, let's see, 3 plus 4 is, or sorry, 3 plus 1 is 4. Yeah, it's going to give me 8x squared. I've got a negative 4 and a negative 4. That's going to be a negative 8. And then here in the middle, I've got a minus 2x and a minus 2x on the end, so minus 4x. All right? If you choose to do it this second way, you are still responsible for knowing this formula. Okay, you have to know that perimeter formula. All right, I will see you guys on the next lesson.